Hello everyone and welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 with your host, Hardtruck1. Hello everyone, welcome back to the farm. So as you can see, I'm sitting up here by the central granary with the tractor, with the case. So to recap what happened, what I did between this episode and last episode, if you remember last episode, we took this, if I can get it, contract right here, to combine canola on field 16 for this uh, Deborah Joseph, which is kind of interesting. A first name and a first name. Interesting. Which was 3 acres. Actually, a little over 3.5 acres. So we went ahead and did that. I combined the field down there by ours, as well as field 16. So our next door neighbor, our next door neighbor, actually. Um, I've done some things. I've rearranged some things in the mods. For instance, I added I added a new truck. I added the this 2019 Dodge Ram 1500 Rebel, which is quite a nice truck. There was another couple other things that I added, but I'm not gonna take the time to search for them right now. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so there's that. We're gonna be finishing this off here in a second. I've got the rest of the canola in the back there. Gonna be dumping it off here. I got some things to discuss first before we finish off this contract. First things first, I think I've been trying to avoid. I've really been trying to avoid taking out any sort of loan from the bank because, well, because of two things. First off, I really don't want to get hankered down with having a loan, this loan interest. As you can see right now, it's only costing us $42 basically a day to have this $5,000 loan. And as you can see right now, I could get rid of it. However, the problem is with the yield on the farms being so little, I have two things that I'm going to do. Actually, I have three things to think about. One is definitely going to be done by the end of this episode, and one thing to actually do, I actually need to do um, before this end of the episode. So we're going to discuss the first one before we dump the canola. First one is we're going to first thing to think about is to buy another field and to buy a bigger field. Not necessarily one of these giant fields up here, but something like along the lines of buying 15 and plowing 14 and 15 together, buying 16 or buying 17. 17 I think is actually bigger than all these. So let's see. So 15 is 126,000, 137,000 for that one, or 213,000. So either one of these is actually any one of these we could do. Because if I think about it right, we can take out at least a $250,000 loan, I believe, is the max that we can take out as of right now. So we're either going to do that, We're either going to purchase one of these fields, so that way we can make more total more total crop off of our fields. Or my other thing is if we took out the loan, we could get into one of these right now. So really truthfully, the easiest one to get into is going to be chickens. And the reason why is because we can just get up to enough money to buy the big chicken coop. We can get the chickens, because I think chickens is like 200 a piece. So 400, that's $4,000. That's $8,000 right there. That's nothing. That's really nothing. So we could get either of the chicken coops, definitely, and fill them up to capacity, and really truthfully with chickens, all we need is wheat. We either need wheat or something. I don't remember. Oh, looks like wheat or barley. So we need either wheat or barley with them. Or we could get into one of the smaller horse pens here and buy us just a couple of horses, get them going, and everything. The only thing is we need water, oats, and straw for them, so we'd have to get set up with all of that. I don't know if we could get set up with horses right away with the amount of money that we could do. And it's kind of the same way with sheep. We're not going to go with pigs because pigs require too much. We're not going to go with cows because cows require too much right now. So our choices are sheep, horses, or chickens. Chickens being the easiest, sheep being the next easiest, and then horses being about the hardest out of them, out of the three. Because just because they require a lot more stuff, a lot harder stuff to do as well. So there's that option. So there's those two options. Now the third option is we could just continue to do contracts. Not even go into debt. Well, I'd have to go a little bit into debt because I want to change out the head on my combine. I would like to change out the head on the combine because the head is a little small, too small for these fields still. The body is still okay, but the head is not. Yeah. But we could do that. I'm pretty sure that can withstand the next step up before we have to get into a bigger unit. So there's that. So those are my three options. We'll probably decide that by the time we get down to the shop, and I'll tell you why we're going to get to the shop. So, as you can see briefly, I added an extra mob. As you can see down in the right corner, there's a bunch of extra stuff around the miles per hour gauge. So what I have in is it's called enhanced vehicles. And what it does is it just adds a bunch of extra information to the dial. So starting from the top left, you have the I'm going to say the deterioration. No, that's not right. Well, essentially it's the maintenance thing. It basically tells you how much each one of your vehicles has on maintenance. How much wear and tear. Yeah, there we go. Is how much wear and tear is on each vehicle. As you can see, the tractor's up to 51% or 50%. The The weight on the front of this thing is up to 48%, and the tipper is only at 4.2%. So the tractor and the weight are definitely going to need some TLC and everything. So that's that. So just to the right of that is the fuel is a visual fuel gauge of how much fuel. The first set of numbers is how much fuel you have, and the second one is how is the capacity of the fuel tank. So right now it's 445 liters is how big the tank is, and 298 liters is how much fuel is in the tank right now. To the left, to the immediate left of the miles per hour gauge is the gear change, and this is actually quite interesting because you have parking brake, you have forward and reverse, and if you don't want that on, you just hit its left control space to turn it off and on. The end button activates your parking brake. This would be kind of nice if we had the physics of, like, if you're sitting on a hill and the tractor just starts rolling down the hill. Would be nice. So in the gauge itself, just to the right of the miles per hour gauge, I don't know what that symbol is. Oh, just to the right of the miles per hour gauge is your temperature gauge. To the left of that is the RPM gauge, as you can see. And then below all of the whole gauge itself, at the very bottom, I don't know if you can really read it, is the weight of the vehicle. So we are setting at 7.7 tons. That is probably just the tractor itself. Well, actually, no, 7.7 tons is what our combined weight is right now. And then the total tonnage would be 12.4, and I think that's with the tipper completely full. So anyway, all right. So let's get this contract finished, and then we'll figure out which way we're gonna go, what we're gonna do with what we're going to do with our what we're going to do by the time this episode ends. Let's see if I can get out of here before this guy gets out here. Haha, beat you. Alright, so we're going to get back down to the farm. So really truthfully what we need to do is this tractor and the combine, they need to go to the shop. So we're going to go to the shop. We're going to take, I guess we'll just take the tractor first. We'll go drop off the trailer. We'll go check the all the other equipment and see what else needs to go down. What else needs to go down with us to get fixed. Then we're going to come back, get the combine. Probably in the meantime, I'm going to probably sift out the pros and cons of all three of the scenarios. So we're going to start with the contracts first. So ideally enough, contracts really, I mean, there's a really good pro, but there's a very, very bad con to it. So the good pro to it is we're going to be completely active. I mean, basically, I mean, we have a combine, we have a trailer, we have fertilizing equipment, and we even have seeding equipment. And for that matter, we have access to pretty cheap fertilizer and stuff, okay? I mean, okay, as cheap as you can get in this game, anyway. So that's the thing. So that's that right there. The really truthfully, the biggest downfall of the contracts is how worthless they are, actually. If you actually think about it, I'm just going to drive through this bush, drive through that bush. I'm going to go ahead and check this one first. So really, truthfully, the biggest downfall, I think, no, we don't need that one. Whoopsie, wrong way. Truthfully, I think the biggest downfall to the contracts is their money. I mean, they are absolutely worthless. I mean, there is really truthfully, the only big money that you get is in the big fields. And that, really truthfully, I mean, if you think about it, yeah, these are not actually good. These are good for a while. Oop, wrong one. And this cedar should actually be pretty good because it's brand new. It's almost as brand new as the cultivator. Yeah, okay. So really, truthfully, the tractor and the combine are the only two that really need to go to the shop. Okay, so we're going to do that. Alright, so that to me is like the biggest con of... Oh wow, I got to cross it just before the train got there. That is really truthfully what I think is the biggest con, is the fact that, I mean, you don't get hardly any money. You don't hardly get any money off of, I mean, the running costs for a small field. The running cost for a small field is actually really truthfully not worth it. And the bigger fields, even though they do pay out quite a bit more, they still suck. I mean, come on. Field 8 is a giant 10 to 12 acre field, or if not bigger. Okay, and you only get $30,000 off of that field. Mind you, you get just a tiny bit more extra of a bonus if you do it with your own equipment. Problem is, until you can get, like, you know, a big 45-foot cedar, which is we don't have, doing that field is redonkulous. I mean, it would take me in the scale of things, let me put it this way. In the scale of things, it takes me maybe 1.5. It takes me 1.5 episodes to do the little field that we have already, with the combine that we have. Okay, let's just take the combine that we have, okay? The sad part about that thing is... Oh, cool. $2 to repair that thing. Must have just needed some paint. Anyway. The sad part about it is that... Let's go this way. That is nothing compared to what I would have to be doing with that big... with Field 8. Field 8 is a giant field. And we would be there probably... And I'm going to probably over-exaggerate just a little bit. Probably anywhere from 10 to 12 episodes on that one field. Alright. Yeah, $408. That's not bad. No, let's not sell our only tractor that we have. Alrighty. Alright, there we go. So the tractor is back. The tractor and the weight is back up to par. We can wait a little bit longer for the other equipment and everything. But we're back up to par on this. So anyway, so that's the pros and cons for doing the contracts. Now we do have a semi-good and a semi-bad, or a semi-pro and a semi-bad con to buying another field. Buying another field means that our requirements for the field for stuff is going to go up quite significantly. That's the con of it. But the pro is we're going to be able to add that much more yield. We're going to be able to add that much more yield to our already existing yield. So, which in case, you know, you increase your yield, you increase a little bit, you know, you increase your money. However, there is, and I'm not going to consider this a con, I'm just going to consider it as a drawback, is now with that much more, we're going to definitely have to penny pinch, pretty much. So, there's that. Now, there is quite a significant pro on getting animals, but there is a very significant con on getting animals as well. Our animals, since they're not going to really truthfully make us money in the short run, we're going to have to kind of watch our P's and Q's as we go until our money actually can start rolling in and everything with the animals. Being that said, now there's going to be a pro and a con to all of the animals that we have access to right at the moment. So let's start with chickens first. So pro and a con with chickens is the pro is we only have one thing that we have to do with them. We only have to feed them wheat or barley. And that's pretty easy because all we have to do is just plant it. All we have to do is plant it, feed the chickens, whatever comes off the field, and yay, we're good. And actually there's two cons to animals, but the first con with chickens, the only con that we have with chickens is the fact that they're going to be slow. Even if we have, you know, 400 and something chickens, we're still not going to get a full-fledged, we're not going to get a full, huge thing of crop of eggs out of them. So that's for chickens. With sheep, the one pro with it is the fact that, you know, it has, you know, we get wool, and I think wool is actually quite expensive on this map. The only problem is we have a con with it is the fact that now we're stepping up to where we're going to need, in most cases, we're probably just going to need water and food for them. Water is going to come in just going and finding a fire hydrant and tapping into it. The other part is grass, so unfortunately we're going to have to get more machinery, and that's the major con on pretty much all of these. Horses, sheep, and not so much chickens, but definitely going to be one of the deciding factors too, is the fact that we're going to have extra equipment. Really truthfully, the equipment that we have is fine, is actually okay and fine and stuff, but we're going to have extra equipment. With chickens, really truthfully, the only extra equipment we're going to have is we're going to have to probably trade our older tractor in for something that's equally as powerful, but has a front loader attachment on it. I don't think I got the one with the front loader attachment on it, so that's going to be that's going to be the major one of the major cons with the animals, is the fact that we're going to have a little bit of extra equipment. So anyway, so after discussing all of that, oh, and the horses are going to are kind of the same boat with the sheep, basically. So after discussing that, I really truthfully think if we're going to go about this, I think we're going to go about this the same way I think I talked about earlier. We're going to go with animals, and I think we're going to try to swing doing the horses. I think that's going to be our major play, because if we can get some of the horses, now I know some of you probably are like, oh yeah, this is the thing, but I mean, I don't know, because I only consider it a rumor right at the moment. I have played on a different playthrough a little bit with the horses, and yeah, they can get they can get up there pretty good. But horses are going to be one of those things that we're going to have to watch like a hawk, because I believe if you miss one day of like training, you're gonna have a heyday. You're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have a big, well, maybe not a big problem, but you're gonna be set back quite a bit. So I think what we're gonna do, I think we're gonna go ahead and just gamble it. We're gonna get the small horse pen. Mind you, we're probably gonna need a little bit more money than the 50,000 because of the landscapers are atrocious and everything. So we're gonna get us the small horse pen. To start with, I think we're just gonna do a couple of horses. Get them trained all the way up. Try to get them as highly trained as we possibly can. And then we're going to then we're going to see what happens with them. If we can get, I would say, anywhere from double our money out of the horses, I mean, that would probably be it. I mean, if we could buy start with 2 horses, get them trained up, and sell them at least double the amount, then we can double the horses. We can buy 4 horses then, because I think each horse is $5,000, and luckily all we have to do is just step right across the street to get that and order them or get them. And yeah, I mean, the only thing is we might actually, we won't. I think I'll do this. Yeah, because we're getting close to our end result. So what we're gonna do, unfortunately, part of this field is gonna become the horse pen. And I think whatever else is left on here, see, we're growing soybeans right at the moment, and that's not the crop we need. We need oats. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to run time through a couple days. just to get through. How the heck did I get money? Huh. Okay. I'll have to look into that. So, alright, but this is what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this. So what we need... Okay, so this is what we need. So let's get what we need first. So horses are going to require... Horses require oats, straw, and water. So water we can do with over here under animals. I think there's a small water tank with 7,300 liters. That should do us for that. For straw, let's see. Oh yeah, look here. We can buy this little guy right here for the L2 18 and the C2 32. Let's see. You know what? You know what I really would wish on a lot of these things, and I'm just putting it out there. Oh wait a minute. No, never mind. I just pretty much figured out. Okay, never mind. Skid steer loader. How much a skid steer loader would cost? 35 for that one, 50,000 for the big one. Well, even at 35,000, that would be nice, and then we could get the that everything. Okay, I'm rambling here. Let's get going. So, we're gonna buy a skid steer. This loader. Wait, is this front loader? This front loaders. Maybe he uses the front loader. But anyway, friend of mine on his playthrough, he bought this thing, and it doesn't connect to anything. Doesn't connect to any of the buckets. Doesn't connect to any of the front. Doesn't connect to any of the front loader buckets. Doesn't connect to any of the skid steer stuff or the telehandler stuff or anything like that. So I don't even know why this thing is in here when it doesn't even connect to anything. So, all right, but that is a rant for a different day. All right, so we have the tractor that pulls the trailer. We need the skid steer. We first and foremost need this. So we're looking at probably 150,000 to start with. So let's get that. I've got to hurry because this episode's kind of running a little long. All right, so we're going to unfortunately borrow a lot of money. Let's start with 150,000. Let's do 160,000. All right. Now let's go back to here. Let's get our pin first because that's going to be the most expensive thing. And you'll be like, well, how come it's the most expensive thing? Well, I'll tell you why. Because there is a little old thing that Giant added called that is called the landscapes. So, unfortunately, sorry if you had to hear that, but I gotta unplug a couple of things so that this will quit. All right, I gotta go out and then go back in. There we go. All right, so, ooh. Well, unfortunately, we may not be able to do them. Oh, we can go out in the middle of it. Nope, we can't. Okay, so, well, I guess that settles it. We're going to go do chickens then. So, let's see. What's the large chicken? Okay, we can't do the large chicken coop. We're going to have to do like 2 smaller chicken coops probably. Let's see. Collides with an object. Okay. How close can we get it? There we go. And all right, well, there she sits. That was 20, that was 30, that was a $30,000 purchase right there. Alrighty, so that's what we're doing. Not even going to worry about the steep incline to this because we can drive around from this side. That bush is there. That's annoying. Let me just see if we can... I just want to see if this works. Can we get rid of unwanted bushes? Okay, we can get rid of unwanted bushes. We can go right up to the road. Nice. No. I don't wanted to get all these anyway. So got a little bit of money that we can play with to get rid of some of these random ass bushes. Okay. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to go through and do that. Now I know you're saying, why are you destroying your crop? Well, is that amount of crop really necessary? I don't think so. There we go. Okay. We'll do that for right now. So, alrighty. So unfortunately, this episode is way too long now, so I've got to get it ended. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode. We're getting into the wonderful world of chickens. So, unfortunately, like I said, I ain't gonna be able to get the chickens right now. Gonna have to wait until we can get some crop going over there. Besides soybeans and everything. So with this, this will allow us to get us at least 30,000 or 30,000. Yeah, 30,000. I wish. 100 chickens, and basically, really truthfully, passively, we'll start getting eggs. Passively, we'll start getting eggs, and yeah, I'll hopefully have a little bit of I'll hope I have a little bit of crop, a little bit of oats. Not oats. Either wheat or barley, and yeah. Alrighty, folks. Well, I'm Harp Truck 1. This is Fireman Simulator 19, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters.